Right, good morning everyone. Welcome to our weather update on Saturday the 13th of December 2025. So, this morning we have rain moving in from the west, temporary ridge of high pressure over the country. Enjoy it while it lasts. It won't last. This band of rain will make its tedious progress over the country and bring us a tedious few days. In fact, this rain band will take 4 days to cross the entirety of Ireland and the UK. Be prepared for some wet weather. So you can see currently it is quite clear, but don't really expect this to be the norm because it won't be. We have this next area of rain pushing in, bringing a wet day to Scotland and Western Ireland. Other areas see cloud building. Now overnight, heavier pulses of rain move in to affect, you guessed it, Ireland, Scotland, Northern England, and especially west-facing hills. And I'll tell you what about tomorrow is really nice. If you wake up with rain, say in Ireland, Scotland, Northern England, you will stay with rain all day. So here we go. So we keep seeing further batches of heavy rain move in all day from the southwest. Just keeps on piling in. By Monday morning, this rain has inched a bit southwards. I bet still bring a deluge to parts of Wales, Northern England, and Southwest England as well. So that keeps on going. It starts to move into the Midlands by Monday afternoon, only to very slowly inch again southeastwards into Tuesday. Thankfully, by that point, it will have fragmented. But still, a gloomy, grossy day for parts of England there. And it's only on Tuesday night that the last of the rain gradually, at last, finally moves away from East Anglia. Oh my god. So 4 days just to cross these two countries. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, Wednesday, briefly drier early on, but that won't last. Next area of rain moves through, but at least this rain band will be much quicker than the last, and it just keeps on coming in. Temperatures, so currently looking quite chilly, ahead of the rain, but mild air will come in with the rain, so don't expect these chilly conditions to last that long. Either way, it's not that cold. I'm just really trying to scrape the barrel here. Into tomorrow, Sunday, just very mild, nothing doing. Into Monday, Monday, we do see some colder air, dare I say it, pushing in from the west into parts of Ireland and Scotland. Stays mild elsewhere. Now, look at that, a frost on Tuesday morning. Oh my golly, a frost in parts of Ireland, Scotland, Northern England. My god, blimey, a frost. And Tuesday afternoon, look at that, only 5 degrees for those areas. A bit milder for the southeast of England, though. And we see a frost again, believe it, a frost again in many areas of Britain on Tuesday night. I think I've lost it. And going into Wednesday, mild air comes back, and it'll stay mild really. Okay, so here is the GFS. Yeah, that's where we are. So let's go back to the start and just breeze through all this wet and windy mush. Long fetch southwesterly flow there tomorrow. Plenty of rain. It's moisture laden into the west and north there, especially on Western Hills. I believe there is an amber warning for parts of Cumbria. So that's the worst affected area. Many other areas of Ireland and parts of Wales, Scotland, Northern England do have yellow warnings in force. So do check those out if you are concerned. Now, this rain band takes its sweet time to push eastwards, but it does eventually to leave us in a slightly cooler westerly flow behind that, and hence the frost. And, that doesn't last long either, because we're back to these long fetch southwesterly winds, plenty of rain. Now, 20th of December, this is the time period here, about a week from now, or it could be in line for a change of some sort. So by that point, you can see high pressure is building to the east and trying to build over the country. Now, we go into the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and we do see a weak ridge. But that collapses on Monday, the 22nd of December, and it tries to build again by Christmas Eve and day, and it does strongly by the end of December. So probably some frost with that under clear skies, but that is a mild core ridge. ECM. Long fetch southwesterly winds, you get the gist, plenty of rain, briefly cooler into Tuesday, and looking possibly stormy as we go into the end of the month, but a change could occur around the 20th. Who knows? Oh, look at this. So this is the midnight run here. That was last night's 12th run because literally half an hour ago, this run hadn't even started to come out, but I guess that was just a lag. So, let's skip through all this boring mush and get through to Saturday. So, Saturday, we do see, still, we have low pressure, but next Sunday, we are blocking, trying to get going towards Iceland, and the low is weakening and going south. And by next Monday, easterly winds, I don't know how much to trust this at this point. By next Tuesday, 23rd, we do have a proper easterly. Not overly cold, but it's a starting to dry things out possibly, and cool things down. UK Met Run. Once again, big fat southwesterly winds, plenty of the wet stuff coming out of the sky. Briefly cooler and drier into parts of Tuesday and Wednesday. But that's short-lived. Next area of low pressure comes through, zips in. Another low by next Thursday and Friday. Watch that period, actually, because they can be quite a deep low. Possibly another name storm. And, well, this is the sort of time frame where we are thinking of possibly a change about the 20th of December. But the issue is that the change is very rapid. Look at how quickly we go from Saturday. You'd think that we'd just see, this area of low moving through, then that low coming through on a very active jet stream, but suddenly that happens. So whether or not the UK Met Run will follow that pattern, we don't know. But there is something to note here, and that is the jet stream is very amplified. So, and that typically hints at a more blocked pattern. Well, it's not as mobile as a flat westerly, is what I'm saying. So that can be conducive to high pressures forming in higher latitudes. GM. So long fetch southwesterly winds, spells of rain, the usual, nothing's changed. A few frosts, maybe early in the week. Then this next low comes through and brings us more joy towards the end of the week. Watch out for that low blowing up into quite a nasty feature on Friday. Now next Saturday, look at this. So jet stream is a bit more amplified, a trough is starting to form, and this low is starting to get stuck there. And notice also this ridge of high pressure towards the Azores eye, is starting to ridge northwards a bit. So now that's Saturday at 6 a.m. That looks not that exciting, but as we push through, we seem to sort of get a ridge forming over Iceland between the Azores high and the high pressure that's actually over Eastern Europe here, and the low starts to weaken and sink. And what happens is the low ends up over Biscay by next Sunday evening, and by next Monday and Tuesday we're into actually quite a cold northeasterly airflow. That is a very complex pattern change, quite a sudden one. We go from having low pressure over Iceland, blue colours in force on Friday, to, by next Monday literally, high pressure, blocking, bringing in cold northeasterly airflows. So, a lot has to happen for that. Anyway, icon. Once again, southwesterly winds come through into today, tomorrow, Monday. Briefly cooler behind those before the next lows drive in. Very deep low there towards Wednesday. You would think that would just keep the westerlies on and on and on. By next Friday, we do have a slightly cooler northwesterly airflow, but still I think some mild winds. And whether or not we do see that pattern change is unknown, because the icon only gets this far, and well, the trajectory is also starting to dip. So who knows? And the arpege, last but not least, you can see brings in a very mild and wet southwesterly airflow through the coming days. By next Wednesday, this next low is bearing down on us. Now, before we go, we'll take a look at the ensembles from the GFS and see what they're doing in terms of upper temperature. So yeah, that's the midnight run. So the GFS, nothing looks that exciting in the longer range. So let's see if pressure changes. Yeah, so actually with pressure, you can see what's happening here. You can see a deep low is coming through over the coming days with this area of rain. Then a brief rise behind that, and that is with those frosty nights. Another drop again into the 18th and 19th of December, more low pressure, but a gradual increase from the 20th onwards. So maybe, just maybe, even if it doesn't go colder, we could be seeing high pressure forming, and that would dry things out and make things a bit nicer for the Christmas period. Everyone, thanks for watching. Watch the space. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.